In section 2.1, you have several problems that have fractions in them, equations with fractions. So the easiest way to do these and the best way to approach these, especially when you have variables in the denominator, is to find the lowest common denominator and multiply every term by that. Now this one doesn't have any x's in the denominator, so we don't have to worry about any of our solutions not working because it causes some part of it to be undefined. So our two denominators are 10 and 6. So we just have to find the lowest common denominator for those. And I'm going to show you the way that I find the lowest common denominator, no matter if I have numbers like these or if I have trinomials that need to be factored, anything. I take both or all denominators, depending on how many you have, and I factor them completely. So 10 is just 2 times 5, and 6 is 2 times 3. Now for my lowest common denominator, I write down all parts, all factors of the first number I have, so 2 times 5, and then I look at the second number I have, and I write down anything that I don't already have. So the factor that I'm missing is the 3. I don't have a 3 from this. So I'm going to multiply that in. So this will be my lowest common denominator. And this always works. If you write down the first thing that you have and then anything from the second one that you don't already have and you multiply those out, you'll have your lowest common denominator. In this case, we have 10 times 3 or 30. And you may have been able to find your lowest common denominator for 10 and 6 without going through that. But I wanted to show you this method because it always works. Now that we have our lowest common denominator, we're going to multiply each term or each side of our equation by that lowest common denominator. So we're going to multiply this side by it. And when I multiply the right hand side by it, it's got 2 terms, so I need to make sure I distribute that 30. So I'm going to multiply it by both parts. So now I have an equation with all these 30s in there. I'm going to go through and simplify everything that I can. So 10 will go into 30 3 times. 6 will go into 30 5 times. And then the last one is just 30 times 2, and it's got the minus sign in front of it. So I'm going to rewrite. I have 3x equals 5x minus 60. Now that is a much neater, much simpler equation to work. And from here, it really doesn't matter. Do you want to move the 60 to the other side of the equation by adding it to both sides, or would you rather subtract 3x from both sides, or subtract 5x from both sides? I just want to get all of my x's together, and if I do this, I can get it done in 2 steps. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. Again, you have options, so whichever way you like, use that option. So now I have negative 2x because the signs are different, and I subtract and keep the sign of the one that is larger. And I have the minus 60 over here. So if you do that, just make sure that you keep your sign. Now we just have to divide both sides by negative 2 to get our answer. So x is going to equal 30. Negative 60 divided by negative 2 is 30. Now we just need to check. That's the second part of this. Now I don't think that MyMathLab makes you check, but it's always a good idea. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to do the check in red, and I'm going to write it up here. 30 divided by 10 is equal to 30 divided by 6 minus 2. We want to see if that's a true statement. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Is that the same as 30 divided by 6, which is 5, minus 2? Well, yes, 3 does equal 5 minus 2, so that one checks.